to all of you wonderful viewers out there. Hi, I'm Awesome Joe, and thank you guys so much for taking in the time of your day to watching another episode of Awesome Joe's Play Back-to-Back Movie Reviews. And, oh my god, I cannot believe what I'm about to say here, because honestly, today we're going to be talking about Marvel's first film, excluding Black Widow. I don't really feel like Black Widow was much of a Marvel debut for the cinematic universe, returning back to the theater. Shang-Chi is actually the movie that does take place after Avengers Endgame. Of course, we got our Disney Plus awesome TV shows going on and about, but when it comes to the cinematic universe, that's out on the big screen once more again after all of the events that have taken into an occurrence after Endgame, excluding Far From Home and then all of the other Disney Plus shows. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. My God. When Marvel's Phase 4 announced their upcoming movies, Shang-Chi was brought up, and I'm going to admit when I say this that Shang what? I didn't know what Shang-Chi was, and I'm sure a lot of people had the same reaction themselves too, who were not followers of the Marvel comic books. Had no idea what Shang-Chi was. Had no idea if it was a man. I had no idea if it was a woman. Had no idea what it was in relations to, other to the fact that it was in relations to the it was going to be an Asian film. So, was I excited for this? Not entirely. I saw the trailer for it when it first debuted, and it really did not capture me so far so yet. But what really caught my attention is when I started to listen to other critics' reactions to when they first saw the movie. Of course, there's no spoilers out there, and usually I always like to do spoilers on my videos because I really have no time to be doing a non-spoiler and a spoiler video. And there's stuff that I really would love to talk about in my videos, and I'm sorry that I spoiled it for all of you other viewers out there. But since this movie just released, and it is a movie, people, it is a movie that I really do encourage whoever is a Marvel fan or just into the Asian culture, or just, if you want to go see a really good movie, go and watch this. I mean, honestly, I thought I wasn't going to like it. I thought that it was just going to be some cheesy, another Marvel film, but I love the fact that they are really taking this seriously. They are developing a story. It is something that is connected to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I love that how it is such a great addition to these group of movies that we've gotten to know over 10 years now. But yeah, other critics' reactions, they say they loved it. They say so many great things about it, and it really got me excited. Now it has captured me. Now it's telling me, okay, well, I gotta go see this thing then, because okay, I know who Doctor Strange was. I wasn't familiar with his story, and I saw the trailers, but it never caught my attention. I was never really excited and saying, oh, I gotta go see this movie. And I didn't get to go and see it in theaters, so when it came out on DVD, I bought it, I watched it. To be honest with you, I wasn't really impressed with the movie. So I felt like that's what Shang-Chi was going to be for me. Of course, now I love Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is one of the best Marvel superheroes up to date. So we've got to see a lot of him with the Spider-Man No Way Home, Spider-Man No Way Home trailer, and then in Marvel's What If Episode 4, dealing with what if Doctor Strange lost his heart rather than his hands. There's a lot of Doctor Strange going on, especially with Wong, We're seeing a lot of Wong, and Wong is in this movie too, which is great. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that connects to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it doesn't overwhelm the audiences. It's saying that this movie is called Shang-Chi, so it is going to be a story about Shang-Chi. We're not going to be doing another Iron Man 2 when it's called Iron Man 2, but has nothing really to do with Iron Man's storyline, but more than opening the doors for other Marvel properties, introducing them into the world of the MCU to our audiences. Shang-Chi was its movie. Shang-Chi introduced us to this new Marvel superhero character that none of us were really familiar with. I mean, people would know what Iron Man was, but we didn't really fully had our attention towards it. And now Iron Man is one of the most favorable Marvel superheroes of all time. Captain America, Thor, even Guardians. People weren't really familiar with Guardians, and now it's a very favorable Marvel team-up. And Shang-Chi is just, and it's, there's two different ways on how to say this. It's either Shang-Chi or Shang-Chi. I don't know. I just like to say Shang-Chi, honestly. That's what really captured more of my attention here. But this movie is, oh my god. I mean, I would just go ahead and flat out say that. It is spectacular. It is awesome. I had a great time with the movie. This movie is directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, and he's directed a movie called he's done several other movie projects that he's directed before in the past, but there's one in particular that I want to bring up. I've never seen it before, but there's a reason why, and now because of this movie, I want to go and watch it. So Shang-Chi is starred by Simu Liu, and then we got another character, Katie, which is not really the love interest. They don't really overuse it in this movie. They're more like friends, but it's played by Awkwafina, she is a very popular and favorable actress in the world of Hollywood now today. And with her name being branded onto this movie, it's going to get a lot of audiences wanting to go and watching this. And let me point out this as well too, is that if Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings did not have a Marvel stamp on this movie, I probably wouldn't have cared to go and watching this movie. Just like how I felt like when I watched Snake Eyes. I would have wanted to see Snake Eyes, but it really didn't feel like I wanted to waste any of my time or my money into watching it. I wasn't really at the edge of my seat of wanting to go and watching that movie. And I still haven't watched that movie. And sometime down the road, I would love to. Even if it had the branded name of G.I. Joe on it, I didn't care about the movies. I didn't really care about the franchise. I really didn't even grow up with it. But it's just like, it never really captured me to saying, oh, I gotta go and watch this. But Shang-Chi, even though in the beginning it has not captured me, I'm glad that it has now. And I'm glad that I went to go and watch it before spoilers were thrown out there all over the web about what took into an occurrence throughout this movie. And of course, what we all expect at the ending of a Marvel movie. But yes, like I mentioned earlier, that Katie is not really what you would call a romantic interest to our hero of the film, but more of just like a, not even a side character to be alongside with the main character, the main hero of the movie. But she is what would bring a lot of comedic performance into this movie, to bring some laughs, to make this movie feel fun. And Awkwafina, she is a very funny actress. I find her to be very laughable, great time to have a great entertaining time with. And her being in this movie is spectacular. There's not a lot of comedic humor in this movie, enough to where I can say I laughed my, excuse my language, but laughed my ass off. It was more of a, a good amount of chuckling. But it's not to saying that this movie was terrible for it. No, don't get me wrong. I absolutely loved the movie. But yes, now when it comes to the villain of this movie, we finally get our real adaptation to the Mandarin. Of course, you guys all know, if you guys are kept up with my videos, I hate Iron Man 3. I love Iron Man. I love Iron Man 2, but Iron Man 3, I loved the marketing because of the way that they portrayed the Mandarin character by Ben Kingsley in those trailers and TV spots, and I just had to say that I wish that would have been the villain of that film, but of course, obviously, it is not. Spoiler alert out there, it's already going to be close to 10 years now, but we finally get our real adaptation of the character of the Mandarin, and that's played by Tony Leung Chiu Wai. and forgive my pronunciations. You guys know, very terrible at it. But he did a brilliant performance. I thought it was just spectacular. I don't want to say what goes on into this movie because, like I said, I don't want to spoil anything. But I really wish that, even though that he had a great amount of screen time, that I just crave more. I crave more. I loved him as the villain of this movie. And if there's probably a flashback, or maybe this movie doesn't really have anything to do with the multiverse, but if there was a another version of this character, that would be spectacular with this actor coming back to portray him. So great that we got this great adaptation of the Mandarin finally. I mean, not to say that Ben Kingsley was terrible at the Mandarin. No, I just don't like that the way that they developed him in the movie. Ben Kingsley did an amazing job as a Mandarin, and I would have loved for him to be that villain of the movie. But because of what happened, I hate the film. I'm sorry, but I hate the film. Then we get the character Zi Ling, which is played by Menger Zhang. And I loved her. She was awesome as well. I thought that, I didn't know that Shang-Chi had a sister, but this is Shang-Chi's sister. And I thought that she was going to be the love interest to Shang-Chi. But she plays the sister, and I love how they fight alongside each other as brother and sister throughout the entire movie. I love how they team up. I love how their background is established, their character developments developing within the story. Very phenomenal. I really had a great time with her. And I want to talk a lot about what's going to happen towards the end. The post and end credit scenes are actually something I do want to talk about. I'm going to save up some time within my video to talk about those very quickly, because they are, even though this movie is so exciting throughout from beginning to end, what is so exciting are those credit scenes. I got to talk about them. Jiang Nan, which is played by Michelle Yeoh, she doesn't really have that much screen time in this, nor was her character that important into the story. But she does a much better job in this than what she did in The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. I mean, Michelle Yeoh is just fantastic. She's a great Asian actress, and if you're going to be doing a movie that is involving with the Asian culture, especially within the MCU, you got to get Michelle Yeoh. I mean, she's just fantastic. I'm surprised that you didn't put Jet Li in this. I'm pretty sure that Jet Li might, if he were to be signed up to do a sequel into this franchise, that he would be an awesome villain. You get a lot of MCU cameos into this. You get Benedict Wong, who's playing Wong, and like I mentioned earlier, he is in this. You get the Abomination. Of course, that's no spoiler. It's out on the trailers. That really captured a lot of people wanting to go and watching this movie, because we haven't seen the Abomination for a long time, like maybe 12 years now, and it's great getting to seeing him finally back on the big screen, returning. And his imagery is very different. It's much more compared to the original image based off of the comic books. Tim Roth is coming back, but he was not in this movie. The character of the Abomination didn't even speak. He was more of just into the film for a few minor seconds. You just get to see this fight. It's in the trailers. Fight against Abomination versus Wong. It felt very Pokemon. It felt very Mortal Kombat-ish. This character versus this character. Fight. I love that. That was really cool. I had a great time watching that. I really wish that there would be more fighting sequences like that. Just one MCU character versus another MCU character going up against each other. Phenomenal. And I love the choreography. Choreography is so awesome. I love the fighting scales. I love the cinematography. Just so phenomenal. I love the CGI. Usually the CGI is very terrible in movies nowadays. But this one, it felt more realistic than I've ever seen in a great long while. So it was great too. I love the costumes that they wear, which is described in the movie that it's made out of dragon scales, which is very protective and very cosmetic. And I actually admired that. It was a great feel to it. You know, I think that there's just a little too explanations of the vibranium being used in the MCU, so it's great bringing in a new MCU element to the table. So I had a great time. Oh man, this movie was so good. I really do encourage everybody who has not watched this movie, go out and watch it. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. So long story short, let me go ahead and say this when it comes to the mid-credit and end-credit scenes. So, of course, Shang-Chi is the victor. You know, he wins. He gets to live at the ending of the film. And they are met up with Wong and back at the Sanctum, discussing about Shang-Chi in possession of these 10 rings now. And who do we have within this meeting is projected conversations with the other Avengers team, but not everybody, just two specific ones, which is Bruce Banner, but it's not Professor Hulk anymore. But yet he still has the sprained arm, and he is back again as Mark Ruffalo. And it's very unexplained as to how this worked, because I know that there could be a specific reason as to why they did this move, and I'm pretty sure it'll be explained in the She-Hulk Disney Plus series. I just think that moving forward with the Professor Hulk character in other MCU films or within the Disney Plus shows, it would cost a little too much money to make. So I think it's great that Mark Ruffalo is coming back, getting some more face time, and which means would be really cool if we did get our original angry, green, big, fighting Hulk back again. I mean, that's the Hulk I want to see. I was cool with Professor Hulk just being in Endgame alone, but it would be great to get into seeing Hulk, like actual, out of control, raging, angry Hulk again. That would be so amazing. I'm pretty sure that they will explain it in the She-Hulk Disney Plus series. I'm really excited getting to seeing that. It's great to know that this does take place after Endgame, so fantastic. And then the second Avenger member is Carol Danvers, Brie Larson in this, and she's wearing the same outfit that she wore in Avengers Endgame, but her hair is not short compared to how she was in Avengers Endgame. Here, her hair has grown longer, and I love it. I mean, even though that, yes, it is in comparison to the imagery of Carol Danvers in the comic books of her having the short hair, I actually admire her a lot more better with the long hair. And I think that we're going to be seeing that within the Marvels, which is the sequel to Captain Marvel. So it's going to be fantastic. I'm really excited because she leaves the conversation because she gets an emergency phone call. And she tells him, hey, if you need to contact me, Bruce has my number, which Bruce does not have her number. So, and she always does that according to what Bruce tells everyone. So, but Bruce just welcomes our two new members, Shang-Chi and Katie, into the Avenger drama mix-up here. And the thing is about this conversation here is the fact that they don't know where these 10 rings came from. They have lasted as long as, I mean, it's not even explained throughout the entire movie, talking about as to, how is it that the Mandarin came in possession of these and where they come from. But the fact is that when Shang-Chi got into possession of them, it sent out a beacon, something to another dimension. So everyone, and the way that they discuss it, it sounds like a very big situation that is developing what Avengers 5 is going to bring us. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people are under the assuming that it could be Galactus. I'm very excited if it's Galactus. We're going to get a really cool, actual, fun, amazing adaptation of Galactus. Or it could be in relations to the Eternals that we're going to be seeing later on this year in November. Can't wait for that. So there's a lot that's going on here. I find that this post-credit scene is in relations to what Avengers 5 is going to have in store for us and throughout the entire future of the MCU. I don't find that it has anything to do with the Shang-Chi storyline, which brings us to the end credit scene, talking about the fact that Zi Ling, which is Shang-Chi's sister, is now in possession of being the leader of the Ten Rings. And because her father did not allow for females to be part of this this organization, now that she is the leader, now that she's running the Ten Rings, she now is bringing in women fighters to be a part of this organization. So, and at the end of every MCU movie, it always talks about, oh, this hero or this villain, it will return. But this time in this movie, instead of it saying Shang-Chi will return, it says the Ten Rings will return. So even though that we got finally a really great adaptation to what the Ten Rings are in this MCU, it's not going to be just in this movie, but we're going to be getting to seeing more of it in the MCU, not only in Shang-Chi movies, but in other MCU films, and maybe even in Disney Plus episodes. They could possibly even be the updated version of what Hydra was in the first three Phase 1 movies. So it's great getting to know that there's just so much going on in this movie, and so much that I would love to talk about. But yeah, Brie Larson is actually in the movie The Glass Castle, that is directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, and this director would not even be selected to be directing this movie if it wasn't for Brie Larson, who stars in that movie. And so thank you very much, Brie Larson. A lot of people are not very fond of her, but I love her. I love Brie Larson, and she's just phenomenal as Captain Marvel, and I cannot wait to see more of her. So so bravos to her. Anybody that's haters out there for her, screw you guys. She's fantastic. Not only is she attractive and loving, but she's a phenomenal actress. I mean, come on, she's an Academy Award winning actress. I mean, you can't beat that. So so on Rotten Tomatoes, I went ahead and rated this movie a 92%, and I loved it so much enough. I was in the same range of giving it a 90%, just because that even though I had so much fun with it, the comedic performance in there did not really capture my attention. You know, like I said, a few chuckles here and there, but still a great rating, still a fantastic movie. I encourage everybody out there to go and watching this movie. So phenomenal, so fantastic. Cannot wait to see these characters once more again in other movies or Disney Plus TV shows, or even in a What If episode. That'd be fantastic. So that is my review for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. What did you guys think? Have you guys checked it out yet? If not, go to your local theater right now. It is out there right now. I think it's on Disney Plus as well too, the $30 promotion fee. But I encourage everybody. It's a theatrical experience. Go out there and watch it, everybody. It's a great, fantastic time. If you have any questions, comments, complaints, or concerns, please feel free to leave it down in the comment section at the bottom. Let's have an awesome time talking about this movie or any movies that you'd like to talk about in general, because I love to talk about movies, but most importantly, I love to talk about them with you. And don't forget that you can check out some more of my videos. Just look me up on Facebook and on YouTube at Awesome Joe Movie Reviews. Don't forget to click on that like and subscribe button there, you guys. I really do appreciate everybody's support into my channel. It's a huge personal hobby of mine, and I love making them to entertain all of you wonderful viewers out there. And also, last but not least, I am doing throughout the entire month of September a Awesome Joe's sweepstakes giveaway of Halloween Kills. We're going to have I'm giving away a Michael Myers Funko Pop, a Michael Myers face mask, a 24x36 poster of Halloween Kills, the 2018 Halloween movie on DVD, along with a $20 gift card to Cinemark Theaters here in Del Rio, Texas, to the lucky winner to go ahead and watch the movie for free. So that's going to be fantastic. You're going to get popcorn, soda, so many treats to go with this wonderful prize. So I'm really excited. On October 1st, I will be reporting the winner. So please stay tuned for that, everybody. I'm Awesome Joe once more again. Keep on living the dream, and as always, stay awesome. Thanks you guys once more again, and I'll see everybody in the next video. Bye.